Hello. In today's video, we will be walking through how to set up a capacity analysis to be leveraged for the available rooms report. If you would like to run a capacity analysis, you have to have the Analytics tab and have to have the links for capacity analysis and capacity analysis times. If you do not have this, you can submit a software support case for them to update your permissions within Astra Schedule to run this report. Let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do is select which meeting patterns we want to show up in the available rooms report. This will show your standard meeting patterns so that people can find which rooms are available during those time blocks. To do that, we are going to click on the Analytics tab and we're going to click on the Capacity Analysis Times link. The Capacity Analysis Times is automatically finding your standard time and prime week throughout your week of classes, and it's also going to determine your standard meeting patterns. You can select more when you're going through this process. Now, the standard meeting patterns are the main thing that we need, so I'm going to click Add and name it Standard Meeting Patterns as well. It's important when you're running the capacity analysis times to select a term that has already happened or has at least already had registration. You will not get the correct numbers when you're running it through if you are doing a future term that doesn't have registration yet. So for example, I'm going to run it for spring 2019 so that we can see correct information because this term has already happened. Now I'm going to run the available rooms report for fall 2019, but that's okay. Now I'm going to choose my campus. It's always best practice to choose your main campus or whichever one you're wanting to run the available rooms report on. And you want to always choose the room type that's like your classroom or lecture room type, the one that the standard meeting pattern grid is going to apply to the most. So I'm going to choose classroom here. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to click Save and Run. And we're going to see the capacity analysis times that we just created show up in the list as scheduled. Once it starts running, it'll switch to running. And then once it's completed, we'll be able to see it says completed and we can click into it and make sure that our meeting patterns are set up correctly. When we click into the capacity analysis times, we're going to immediately see lots of information like this heat map and this prime time and standard time on the right-hand side. This is not important for the available rooms report, so we're going to skip over this for now. But if you have questions on this page, please reach out to your Ad Astra representative. We're going to click on the On-Grid Meeting Patterns tab right at the top of the page on the left-hand side. This is going to select what Astra thinks are the most common meeting patterns that you've used. We can see here that the meeting patterns are listed in the middle and that we have a check mark of On-Grid here, and that we also have a sequence of these meeting patterns. Now you can always come in and select which meeting patterns you would like to see, and it's important to note that these meeting patterns cannot be overlapping. They have to be individual meeting patterns without overlapping time so that we can get accurate information in the available rooms report. If you want to add additional meeting patterns, you can simply scroll down and select the On-Grid checkbox next to a meeting pattern, or you can use this drop down here, hover over filters, and select a certain filter here, like maybe Mondays at 9. It will show all of our Monday at 9 a.m. meeting patterns. Now I'm going to cancel out of this standard meeting patterns and show you one that we have set up, this one here, to show you what we're expecting usually to see in the on-grid meeting patterns. So we can see these Monday, Wednesdays starting from 7:30 to 9:20. These are very common time blocks. And we can see the same thing in the Tuesday, Thursday starting 9 a.m. to 7:15. Again, if you wanted to change them, you can add more, you can uncheck them. But now I'm going to go from this standard meeting patterns capacity analysis, and I'm almost ready to run my capacity analysis, but now I need to go to the term that I want to run the available rooms report on. To do that, I'm going to click on the Academics tab, and I'm going to click on the Terms link. Now, while this page is loading, it's important to note that the capacity analysis times that we just ran, you can run that once and then use it over and over again for each term. It is not term specific. So even though I ran it on 2019-10, my spring term, I can run it in the capacity analysis for fall 2019, spring 2020, so on and so forth. You only need to run capacity analysis times again if you want to change the meeting patterns that are going to show up in your available rooms report. Okay. One thing that you will have to do every single time you run the available rooms report for a new term, you will need to come to your term list and take a step within the term itself. Now I want to run fall 2019, which is my 2019-30 term. So I'm going to click into that term. Should be familiar with this page, but then I'm going to click on the Analysis Term Settings tab at the top of my page here. And you can see that there is a Capacity Analysis section. Here I'm going to click Calculate Dates for it to determine the start and end date range for this term and my term weeks. It's going to go through and say, please wait here for calculating start and end dates. And once it's completed, we'll be able to see that information. Once it's completed, you can see that it selected September 1 and December 14th as my start and end dates, and it calculates the most common start and end dates to select those. Okay. Now that we've completed our capacity analysis times and we've run calculate dates within our term, we can actually run our capacity analysis. I'm going to click on the Analytics tab and click on the Capacity Analysis link. From here, I'm going to click Add a Capacity Analysis in the top left, and you'll see that all the work we've just done has automated the process of filling out the rest of these fields. I'm going to type in Fall 2019 Capacity Analysis as my name. And then from my term, I can choose my 2019-30 term. Now, if you forget to run Calculate Dates, it's going to tell you here, because if I select a term that I haven't run it on, you can see it's going to give me an error. But if I select 2019-30, the term that I did run Calculate Dates on, it fills out that start and end date range and the term weeks. You can see I can't click into those. Those have to come from this drop down. Again, I'm going to use my capacity analysis times in this drop down here. And I'm going to choose that standard meeting patterns that I had originally created because I like those meeting patterns best. And we can see it automatically fills out the rest of the page, with the important thing for the available rooms report being this on-grid meeting patterns section. Last thing I'm going to do is come up into the top right corner and uncheck the resource room block, pre-post meeting, setup and teardown, and events checkboxes. I'm only going to keep the sections checkbox, as the available rooms report only looks at section room usage to see available space. If there is an event in a room but not a section throughout a semester, it will show the room as available, as academics always take precedence over events. Now that I've done with this, I'm going to click Save in the top left corner. I'll see my changes saved here, and then I can click Run. Once I click Run, it is running in the background, and I want to stay on this page until I get my pop-up that says the run has completed. Now that that pop-up has shown up that says Capacity Analysis Completed, we can run our available rooms report. These reports are not automatically in the system, so if you do not have these reports, when you're asking for the setup for the capacity analysis in your software support case, you can also ask for these reports. I'm going to click on the Reporting tab and then click on the Reports link, and I do have these uploaded. And I'm going to expand the report group that I have them in, and here you can see that we have two options for the available rooms report. We have one where you can select specific buildings, and we have one where you can select specific regions. I'm going to click into the Select Building report. Your parameters on the left-hand side here will first be which capacity analysis you want to run. I'm going to run that fall 2019 capacity analysis. You are then going to decide if you want to show which rooms are available or simply the number of rooms that are available. If I say no, it won't show the individual rooms, but I want to say yes here to see how many rooms are actually available. Next, you're choosing your range for how many seats you're looking for. So if I'm looking for a room that holds between 15 or 70, now it's going to show me any rooms that are available in those meeting patterns between 15 and 70. I'm going to choose which room types. Best practice here is again to choose whatever your classroom or lecture room types are. And then I'm going to select which buildings I want to look in. If I only want to see the rooms available in Adams Hall, I can select the one building here, click OK. And once I've filled out all of my parameters, I'm going to click Apply here. And up at the top, I can see I have 14 pages. And then with each page is going to be its own meeting pattern. So I can see this first page here is the Monday, Wednesday, 9:30 to 11:20 meeting pattern. There are 23 rooms in Adams Hall that hold between 15 and 70 that have a room type of classroom, but all of them are being used during this meeting pattern. I'm going to come up to the top and click the arrow key here to go to my next page, and I can see from Monday, Wednesday, 9:30 to 1:20, I have one room available, Adams Hall 127. You can move forward through this report by clicking on these arrow keys, or once you're done with that, you can actually export this report by clicking on the little arrow key up in the top left. Best practice is usually exporting this to PDF. Clicking export, I'm going to open it up here in Crystal. It's going to give me the PDF here and then open it up in a new tab for me. But now I can quickly scroll through and see what rooms are available. This is easily shared. I can see Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 10:15, no rooms are available, which is very common, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 10:15. And this is a way to show people what rooms are available within your standard meeting patterns. Remember that we also have the report that can be run through regions. It's also important to note that the capacity analysis is static. If I was to go assign Adams Hall 118, but then come back to the report, it would still show that it's available until I run the capacity analysis again. So you can always go back to the Analytics tab, click on the capacity analysis link, click back into your actual capacity analysis, and you can always click Run at the top left again for it to run to refresh basically your data that's going to show up in the Available Rooms report. If you have any other questions on the Available Rooms report, please reach out to your Ad Astra representative.